Christopher Late's family have gathered in Nashua to cope with his loss, the place he lived with his 3 children.
It's been a great embrace to have us all here to kind of take the brunt of this burden together.
Christopher's brother Anthony tells us he was in Jamaica for his friend's wedding. While he was there, he and another man were hit by a bus and died at the hospital. The couple who were married called the family to let them know what happened.
It wasn't real. It still isn't, because I don't want to say the word out of sight, out of mind, but it's not real because, as far as I'm concerned, he's just still there.
Christopher's twin brother Jonathan says he's one of 6 children and a dad of 3. He had his own business and isn't sure how he will go on without him.
We need to get him home. We need to be able to lay him to rest. We need to say our goodbyes.
For now, Christopher's family is focusing on who he was and what they'll miss about the hardworking father, brother, son, and friend who gave so much.
I can't even begin to describe how much of an influence and just how wonderful he is as a father and as a provider.
Chris would do anything for anybody. He would take the shirt off his back. He wouldn't let anybody go without ever. He always considered himself last. He put everybody, people he didn't know before himself.
And now the community is coming together to support Christopher and his family, something they say they are so grateful for.
I'm in complete awe. I've said this before, but for being my little brother, he is just such an inspiration to hopefully even myself, to hopefully one day be able to say I was as good as, or wish to be anyways.
Christopher's family created a GoFundMe page to help with travel and funeral expenses. Any money left over will go to Christopher's 3 children. Reporting in Nashua, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
The New Hampshire Supreme Court is upholding the sentence of a prison inmate convicted of second-degree murder. Prosecutors say Thomas Milton was part of a white supremacist prison gang when he beat another inmate to death in 2010. In his appeal, Milton argued that an expert witness testified about incidents other gang members were involved in that he was not. But the court ruled the value of that testimony did not outweigh any risk that Milton would be unfairly portrayed during his trial. Right now, Manchester police are asking for the public's help locating an elderly man with Alzheimer's. Police say 77-year-old Kenneth Foote has been missing since early this evening. He was last seen wearing a gray hoodie and blue jeans. He also has glasses. Anyone with any information is asked to call Manchester police. Well, tonight, parents and school districts around the state remain concerned that a bus driver strike could impact transportation in the coming days. 2 districts in SAU 55 are taking their fight to court to keep their drivers behind the wheel come next week. WMUR's Cherise LeClaire is live in Belmont with what happened in court today.
Well, Shelley, the drivers who work here at this bus depot in Belmont are the only ones right now who are authorized to strike, but surrounding districts are concerned that strike could potentially have a ripple effect. Now they're hoping to work against any other drivers walking off the job as well. This bus depot in Belmont is where a driver's strike could all begin. Thursday in court, attorneys for SAU 55 tried to prevent that strike from potentially spreading to their district.
We believe we have a great bus company that provides a really excellent service, but to withhold services from the families is just, it's unacceptable.
Dr. Earl Metzler is the superintendent of Timberlane and Hampstead school districts. He says once he found out that drivers in Belmont could cause a chain reaction strike that could potentially impact 33 districts, including his, he turned to the court system.
I was committed to using every tool in the tool shed to make sure that the company that we contracted for to provide transportation for our families was going to honor that.
He also argued in the injunction that any drivers other than those in Belmont would be violating their contract if they picketed, as they have a no-strike clause in their agreement. Meantime, Bill Cahill, a lawyer for the Teamsters Union, Local 633, says drivers won't strike until Monday, November 28th at the earliest, and would give plenty of notice to schools if they do strike.
But the fact of the matter is the parties are still talking, and it is our hope and desire that they come to terms and that this strike issue just goes away.
Something everyone agrees on, making sure students have safe and reliable ways to get to school.
I have never seen a strike that would not take into consideration the safety of the children. And that's a long time being around the Teamsters.
And now the judge in this case could make a ruling tomorrow morning, but the Teamsters attorney there says he's filed a motion to move this case to federal court altogether. Meantime, those two sides, First Student and the union, will resume talks in Washington, D.C. about their contract on Tuesday. Live in Belmont, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
All right, Charisse, thank you. And now on to New Hampshire's drought. After getting some beneficial rain this week, there is no change in water shortages that parts of the state are seeing. For a closer look, here's Chief Meteorologist Mike Haddad.
Yeah, Shelley, that's right. We are tracking some rain well off to our west. Not over the next couple of days. The drought does continue, and in some cases, the extreme drought continues. Take a look. Extreme southern parts of the state. No change to the drought map over the last 7 days. Severe drought, Manchester up to Concord, Lakes region, southern part of the White Mountains. And yes, rainfall deficit in Concord about 20% since the first of the year. 28.40 inches of rain to date. The average 35.70. No rain in the next couple of days, but there is a front back to the west that does have not only rain, but as you can clearly see, some snow. So when will that move in, and will it help at all with the drought? We'll take a look at those possibilities and the big changes moving in our direction in a few minutes.
A new report from the U.S. Surgeon General is shedding light on the toll drugs and alcohol are taking across the U.S. The report says nearly 21 million Americans struggle with substance-related addictions, while only 10% are getting the treatment they need. 1 American dies every 19 minutes from an opioid or heroin overdose. The Surgeon General says the goal of the report is to encourage better diagnosis and treatment. New Hampshire has just joined 41 other states in suing 2 companies, saying they blocked a generic version of a drug to treat opioid addiction. The lawsuit claims the 2 companies worked together to switch Suboxone from a tablet version to a film to delay generics from entering the market. The attorneys general claim that has led to artificially high prices for the drug. The companies have said the lawsuit is without merit. Raymond police are investigating a series of thefts at the Pine Acres campground. Police say 20 camping trailers, small sheds, and additions were broken into today. Police say thieves stole a number of things, including small digital TVs and a PlayStation. They are reminding people to lock up valuables as the holiday season is approaching. Well, right now, officials are trying to determine what caused a fire at an apartment on Amherst Street today. Fire crews say the entire apartment building was occupied at the time, but everyone made it out. When firefighters arrived, they found heavy fire and smoke coming from the front of the building. They say the fire was contained to a first-floor bedroom.
Due to the construction of the building, the brick masonry held the heat, and fire was contained to that one apartment. Several pets were lost. There was no personal injury at this time, and no firefighter injuries.
A man and a 5-year-old child were brought to the hospital for smoke inhalation. The fire caused about $50,000 worth of damage. In Merrimack, officials say a 1986 Chevrolet Corvette appears to be a total loss after catching fire in the high school parking lot. Crews were called to school just before 1 after the driver heard a bang under the car and saw smoke. No other cars were damaged and there were no injuries. Officials say the cause of the fire was an electrical problem. Back-to-back visits coming up. Who President-elect Donald Trump met with today as he decides who will join his administration.
Gives you a whole new chance of life again.
Plus, a Windham woman proves that age is just a number. Coming up, we'll show you what's giving her a new lease on life. And now here's Mike Haddad with a check of your wake-up weather.
Yeah, mostly clear out there in many spots right now. A few patchy clouds to the north. Tomorrow morning, bright skies and seasonably chilly upper 20s north, lower to mid-30s central, upper 30s south. You know, we're going to have a little taste of early spring by tomorrow afternoon. So how warm does it get? And what about those big changes for the weekend? That's straight ahead.
To Commitment 2016 coverage now, and President-elect Donald Trump has now offered former military intelligence chief Michael Flynn the job of National Security Advisor. The moves come as Trump had visits with South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, and met with Japan's Prime Minister. Meantime, Vice President-elect Mike Pence was in Washington, where he met with lawmakers from both parties.
Very confident that as we move toward inauguration, bring together a great team, work in concert with leaders in the House and the Senate. We're going to move an agenda that's going to rebuild our military, revive our economy, and in a word, make America great again.
Trump's transition team says some announcements for his cabinet may not come until after Thanksgiving. Well, tonight, 2 citizen activists and the former head of the American Civil Liberties Union were honored at Nakias Loeb School of Communications. Donna Green and David Pearl, who spoke out for open government, received the First Amendment Award. Pearl passed away back in June, so Mark Meville accepted the award on his behalf tonight. And the retired head of the NHCLU, Claire Ebel, received the Quill and Ink Award.
Think about the people who are saying things you don't like. It's their First Amendment too. And I think it's our responsibility, all of us, to say their First Amendment rights are just as important as mine.
I've learned that there are many good people in this state willing to help, many in this room tonight. Thank you all for what you do, and thank you so very much for this honor.
He was committed to his principles and to his convictions almost to a fault, to do the right thing and what was right. He regularly was known to be submitting right-to-know law requests.
And tonight's event was the main fundraiser for the nonprofit school. The New Hampshire Sportsplex in Bedford is gearing up for the 4th annual New Hampshire Auto Show that kicks off tomorrow. The 4-day event started today with a fundraising gala. The goal is to help raise money for CASA and the New Hampshire Automobile Dealer Association's Education Foundation. The gala also gives the participating dealers a chance to the first look at the 2017 models in the showcase.
We want to raise money for both charities, but also a way to say thank you to our dealers who participate in the show and our partners who participate in the show as well.
More than 150 new vehicles are on display. Doors open tomorrow at noon at the Sportsplex in Bedford. The show runs through 5 o'clock on Sunday. Well, age is just a number to New Hampshire's newest Tai Chi instructor. This 90-year-old is leading a class at a seniors residence in Windham, and her neighbors couldn't be happier.
In this community room at Windham Terrace, senior citizens are embracing a new age practice. They're taking part in meditation in motion, also known as Tai Chi. Leading the pack, fellow resident Jeanette LaRue, who at 90 years old says Tai Chi has given her a new lease on life.
I feel as if I'm 39 years old. I don't feel stress. It takes all your problems away. I mean, I can't say enough.
Jeanette says she learned Tai Chi while living in Florida, and she became an instructor 6 years ago. She just recently moved into Windham Terrace and started teaching this class 2 weeks ago.
We made it happen very quickly and got her in place and made sure that she was comfortable with her presentation and the people that would be coming. And so we had it happen, and she's really great and really happy and has brought so much to our facilities.
Fellow residents like 90-year-old Catherine Briggs are happy too.
This is my second time. You do feel better.
Health experts say Tai Chi helps reduce stress and anxiety, and its repetitive motions are good therapy for Alzheimer's patients.
I can't say enough. It gives you a whole new chance of life again.
She's wonderful, and Jeanette says it's never too late to start. She says she was never an active person until she discovered Tai Chi. So there you go, 90 years old. She's leading an active fitness class there.
You get involved in those programs, and you feel so much better.
So much better.
Yeah, it's great.
Good for her. All right, well, speaking about the weather, you can feel the chill creeping back in tonight.
Yeah, you can. It's getting seasonably chilly. And it's kind of deceiving a little bit because tomorrow by afternoon we're well above average again. So we're going to ride the old temperature roller coaster again. Take a look at the breeze. Well, you can't see the breeze, but you can see the effect out there at Newfound Lake today. And with those gusty winds, it did feel a little bit cooler than yesterday. Despite more clouds and showers yesterday, we had some bright skies at times out there, as you can see in Newfound Lake, but it was on the breezy and cool side. Before all that moved in, try a high of 57 in Concord, well above the average, nowhere close to the record, but take a look at the record low. It can get that cold this time of year, one below, set back in 1967. Yes, it is seasonably chilly, but you know what? Actually still running a little bit above average for this late hour of the evening in this time of year. 30s and 40s, and a good indication of how warm the air mass could be the next day. is looking up over 6,000 feet atop Mount Washington. It's above the freezing mark. You add about 30 degrees to that temperature to get what it could feel like in the valleys with a light offshore breeze in full sunshine. We're going to have full sunshine tomorrow, but the winds may be light onshore, so we may add close to 25 to 30 degrees in spots, getting us over 60 by afternoon. Seasonably chilly overnight, upper 20s to mid 30s in many areas, but a quick rebound with full sunshine tomorrow. And you can see that wedge of warmth building from the deep south, riding right up through the Great Lakes. The next stop over New Hampshire. Now, it will not be as warm as it was out west today, where Chicago points west were in the 70s. St. Louis was into the 80s. Again, not going to be summer-like, but at least spring-like for Friday and again on Saturday. After that, here come the big changes. Notice how much colder it turns back in the Rockies and the Plain States, and that's moving in our direction, all courtesy of the old jet stream flow, that ribbon of air steering the cold and the warm and the storms in and out.